Yeah, so for me, I think what I'd say is I'm the kind of person, if I feel like I can do something, nothing will stop me from doing it. I think that's the one thing. Nasema nikiona naweza ifanya, I'll do everything in my power to try and do it. And I think most of the time I've done it, naweza sema blindly. Sijui what's lying ahead. And then I'm also okay with learning along the way. So I'd be okay with sijui how it's going to happen next time, but I'll keep doing it, learning and unlearning, ndio nione what is working and what's not working.
I like the learning on the job thing. Because for most fund, you can start a business today, maybe even get funding, whether it's family, bank, whatever, and you have everything laid out. But sometimes, honestly, it's good to just start something and then you just learn on the job. Because by the time you're even hiring those professionals and they're doing their own crooked things, you will not even know whether that is how it's supposed to be done or not, unless you are literally by yourself. You're thinking, okay, there's traffic, I need to go to the next person. How do I navigate this? By the time you're hiring like an operations manager who is supposed to be doing those things, and then they're giving you excuse, from Kiambu Road to Siji, what is 20 minutes? Like, what? But that is far. And you, when you are doing it and thinking outside the box by yourself, you were actually able to minimize that time. So there is no way you can tell me from Kiambu Road to Greenhouse is 2 hours. I've delivered there myself. I've been in traffic myself. I know it can actually come to 30 minutes if you know some other routes that you can use.
Saseni Mkofiti, welcome back to our mini series where we are hosting different founders, entrepreneurs, business owners as we review their 2025. Na mkiona vanya niko na furaha hivi, it is because today I have 2 amazing women. Mliwa tag, for sure mliwa tag. And I reached out and they were so welcoming. Like unajua kipigia mseo kwa zile za, I know you're a busy person. I know it's the end of the year, so you guys are busy. Naomba tu kama unaweza nipatia tu just 1 hour ama 2. Ukuje tu to review your 2025 because we've seen you. Like we can't mention businesses in Kenya and fail to mention them. Like seriously, ukiwaona utaona walai kuchochi. So I am so happy, and one of them amesema hajawahi kuwa kwa any podcast. Yani ako tensed but naambia tu relax. Sisi ni watu wazuri, sisi si watu wabaya. Yeah, and without much of the intro, guys, please drum rolls. Alan, weka drum rolls. Oh, I am so happy, guys. I am so happy to have you on set. Tuanze na Purity. Please introduce your business, introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you so much. My name is Purity Wawero. I'm the CEO at TANJ Curtains and Interiors. We deal with anything window treatments, anything if you need window solutions, we got it. And we have 3 branches. We have Muthaiga Square, Kimathi Street, and now we have Eldoret, which is brand new.
Ooh. Don't you love that, guys? Don't you love seeing Purity here with me? It's her first time ameenda kwa podcast, anaketi YouTube. Ananiambia apart from kuuza curtains, hajawahi keti kuulizwa maswali na mtu. Then we have Maureen Kiongos. Oh my God.
Hi guys, my name is Maureen Bandari and I'm the lady you go to when you want to enhance your confidence and well-being. And we do that by using our 2 brands, Bandari Beauty and Luna Spa. And we are literally, your home of personalized skincare solutions.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yani, siamini
I was telling her brands is not beans. That's why when she calls us, we have to create time. So we are happy to be here.
Aki asanti. Aki, honestly, I am this... Like, whatever I'm doing, it's so outside my comfort zone. So I could reach out kwa watu, I'm shy. I'm scared, but thank you so much for coming. You've had Maureen. There's Bandari, there's Luna Spa, you've also opened, you have branches. Ujasema kama Purity.
Oh yeah,
Kwani umesahau?
Utaniuliza tu at some point. I have 2 branches right now, one in Sarit and our HQ at Greenhouse Mall along Gong Road, and that's the same mall where we have Luna Spa as well.
You guys are doing amazing. Before anything else, like ukitaja biashara businesses, you guys are top on the list. Like TANJ Curtains, nimeona Eldoret, umefungua, Maureen Sarit, umefungua, Luna Spa. Mpaka we are like, how are you doing it, guys? Please just help us. Like, how are you doing it? No, I'm being honest.
Like opening many branches.
Like, how are you running these businesses? First of all, there's the question for you, a woman. Of course, I'm not saying a woman is
Cannot,
less of, ama cannot.
true.
Yeah.
But you have all these responsibilities. There's a mother. There's a business owner. There maybe kuna watoto, kuna... Please, how are you doing it, Kiongos?
I think honestly, we can't answer this question without saying it's by the grace of God, first and foremost. But for me, with time, I have become very, very comfortable delegating. To be honest, trying to be a superwoman, I realized that there is no place tutapatana mbinguni ati niko na certificate. Oh, you are, the one trying to balance everything. So where I can get help, for me, I genuinely go for it. But then now when it comes to business itself, I would say my background in corporate really, really helped. Because, in corporate, kuna so many rules and processes that govern how you work in that environment. So immediately when I was quitting my job and coming into the business world, I knew from the get-go I need to, make sure that my business is well structured. I have people I can comfortably delegate to. So that way, then I'm able to, do what I know best. Most of the time it will revolve around strategy, creativity, marketing the brand, being the face of the brand, so that the other things that I'm not so good at or very comfortable doing, other people are able to do it in the business. Then when I go home already, I'm no founder, I'm no CEO, ni mtu anakuambia mami, uko like, guy, my God, do you know who I am? But yeah, there is no certificate for anything. So for me, I delegate where I can, but at the same time, I know whatever I'm able to do is good enough at the end of the day.
So even with delegation comes so you're able to think of the strategy, so ndo unaweza kufungua branches zingine.
Yes.
Because you have a team that is working.
Yes, you have a team behind you that is able to work. And early on, I think from 2021, I would say, I'm someone who has always looked at my own skills. What do I know? And then what don't I know? So these things that I don't know, most of the time, I always have a coach who is able to help me with that. So I've had a business coach since 2021 to date. So sometimes they serve different purposes. Sometimes I can change who the coach is. But at any given time, I have at least people around me who are able to lift me up. Ikikuwa ni zile vitu so complex, so difficult, I need a professional cry. I have people at least I can go to and be like, hey, what decisions do people make when they're faced with situations like this? So I don't end up feeling like I need to make all the right decisions by myself all the time.
Okay. At least I'm getting to see why now you're able to, unajua? Naona kumbe there's a team.
Yeah.
And for TANJ?
Yeah, so... Remind me the question again.
How do you do it? Like sasa uko LD, TANJ. Unajua hapa nje tutashindwa wait. Curtains. Like, and I'm belittling whatever you're doing. But you've taken it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
Like kuna curtains za remote. Kuna
personality.
Kuna curtains like ulitake upon yourselves kuisongesha to another level. It's no longer just curtains now.
Yeah.
It is TANJ curtains.
Yeah, so for me, I think what I'd say is I'm the kind of person, if I feel like I can do something, nothing will stop me from doing it. I think that's the one thing. Nasema nikiona naweza ifanya, I'll do everything in my power to try and do it. And I think most of the time I've done it, naweza sema blindly. Sijui what's lying ahead. And then I'm also okay with learning along the way. So I'd be okay with sijui how it's going to happen next time, but I'll keep doing it learning and unlearning ndio nione what is working and what's not working. Yani sijakuwa tina like a perfect structure, but I've learned to do the structures on the go. But also I think because also we structured our business around my family. Like now running the business with my husband, we hired our siblings. So that's just that when you're not very sure about kutaendaje, you have people who you feel like you can trust, but also at the same time having people you can trust and now taking that as your way of doing the business can be a pain later on. Sasa hapo ndio inakuwa hiyo balance sio rahisi. So because also now along the way you realize even when you hire someone and then you want to overextend the trust and that is not very sustainable, but still you go learning along the way. And also like in those difficult times uko na hawa watu wenye unaweza tegemea unamwambia, someone who is willing to go like an extra mile. So I think for me that has really been a big deal, but also noticing the same way Maureen is saying, noticing what you're strong at and what you can't do. For example, yes, I might be good at knowing how to multitask and do a lot of critical thinking quickly. In a business like ours, there are so many moving parts. You have to think quickly. Maybe wameenda wamepata traffic. We had told the next client will deliver at this time. See vitu kama hizo. But now also realizing I can delegate that to someone like now my husband Marvin. So inakuwa ni rahisi. Juu yeye pia ako na, you know, the way now also when he's supporting me in the business, ako na voice yenye mimi sina.
Yeah.
So kuna vile akiambia maybe like we have to work with a lot of technicians as well. So akiwaambia kitu, they hear him more than they would probably hear me. So also realizing like there are those things that I'm very good at, but then there are others you can let someone else help. And as long as the person is there to help you wholeheartedly, so inakuwa ni a bit easy.
Yeah. You've said you've had to learn and unlearn.
Yes.
I'd like to hear your biggest lesson for 2025.
My biggest lesson is I'd say some of the biggest pains for us this year that zimefanya nani tumekuwa tu survival mode is maybe the fact that we've had the highest turnover we've ever had in the business. You see the nasema I've worked a lot on trust. So you trust the wrong person. And this person is like key in the business and now you're in a mess and you have to clear it up. So learning that hiring professionally is better than just seeking like we unaona ni nani anaweza kuampoa unapewa unaenda tu na yeye. So like learning how to hire professionally for me has been the biggest lesson for me this year. And I think because now I also have, because of trusting people and working with my family, ilinifanya nikuwe ni kama I want to treat everybody like family. So and then I realized the team culture for me is such a big deal. In fact, this year is the first time I've had to go into many events come as a founders. Then you're meeting people and realizing inakwanga tu the same, but now how do you handle it? So nasikia this one handled it this way. So you learn along the way. And I feel like your payment is idea sana. Though pia haijakuwa rahisi.
So
like hiyo haijakuwa rahisi.
And I imagine.
Sorry.
Pole.
Yeah.
I want to even add on what he has said. I like the learning on the job thing. Because for most founders, you know, you can start a business today, maybe even get funding, whether it's family, bank, whatever, and you have everything laid out. But sometimes, honestly, it's good to just start something and then you just learn on the job. Because by the time you're even hiring those professionals and they're doing their own crooked things, you will not even know whether that is how it's supposed to be done or not, unless you are literally by yourself. You're thinking, okay, there's traffic, I need to go to the next person, how do I navigate this? By the time you're hiring like an operations manager who is supposed to be doing those things, and then they're giving you excuse, you know, from Kiamburo to Suji, what is 20 minutes? Like, what? But that is far. And you, when you are doing it and thinking outside the box by yourself, you were actually able to minimize that time. So there is no way you can tell me from Kiamburo to Greenhouse is 2 hours. I've delivered there myself. I've been in traffic myself. I know it can actually come to 30 minutes if you know some other routes that you can use. So it kind of also helps you as you're growing to know, okay, wewe wa social media unaniambia it takes 15 days to edit one video. And I was shooting and editing and posting
On
the
my
same
phone.
day on my phone. Well, you want to tell me, oh, the transferring, oh, the Bluetooth has you done what? So yata maybe ujui how those things work. So learning on the job, I think, is just the best teacher outside of even having coaches and leaning on other founders and getting to know what they're doing. You, in the onset, being able to be immersed in the business and doing almost everything. By the time you're even putting those structures and those departments, you know exactly why they exist.
Yeah. And I love that you too, your businesses are so big. As much as you have physical locations online, your businesses are so big. Na umesema hiyo ya social media, because most businesses wanasemanga chukua hiyo simu, fanya hiyo social media. Uko naogopa. It's okay utapea social media manager, but at least know what she's saying. Atakudanganya kesho Facebook inataka 10,000.
Ama ni kufungua account.
Nalipa
for Facebook. But you know, then also even what I've realized for me, even with social media, majority of the time, anything you guys see on social media, majority of the time it's my vision. It's just that I'm not the type to come and say, oh, you know, that was my idea. That was my idea. That was my idea.
So a lot of the content on Bandari,
the vision itself on what kind of content we need to put out, majority of the time comes from me. And ideally, I would want to encourage even founders to be the same. You might not necessarily be very creative, but you know what you want your audience to consume. You know what your customers need to see. If it's a curtain, do you want them to know that this side, you can put this side, and then another day, I want this other side to be changed. Otherwise, the social media person will come and do as they understand without involving your vision in the content itself. So it has to balance, whereby, yes, you maybe don't understand how to do the videos, to shoot and whatnot, but they have to carry your vision by all means,
I agree 100%. Because even for us, like social media, even when they do the content, it's very hard for me to just see it online.
Oh, you want to see it first?
I want to see it first because it has to be what I want. If someone came to the shop and found me, what would I explain to them? That narrative is the same one I want when we do social media work. Tukieka huko, it represents what TANJ is. Because that's what we do see now, like even for us, like the way social media is such a big platform for our business. You don't want the wrong perception or representation, and that can only be you're the one who understands the brand the most. So I think also for me that's also a big part, and also the fact that it's something I enjoy even on my own page. Yes, naweza kwa sasa siko like so much, but I genuinely love kukua kwa camera and just doing things, so I'm happy to do it. And because it's something I feel like it's a strength, even though I don't have the skill, I'm able to guide them. So that the representation of TANJ is what I'd want our clients to come to Muthaiga or to Eldoret and still experience.
And you see, it makes a lot of sense because I want the brand to be the same as ukikuja kwa ground. See, online kuna difference na kwa ground. But doesn't it feel like, now to the team manager, like to the social media manager, doesn't it feel like you're micro managing?
Not at all.
Especially when you want to see, like nasi umempatia kazi, lakini bado unataka kurudi kwa hii kazi.
I think I have to see.
So for me, not at all, because I actually give a lot of creative freedom. So I will tell you, I want a video that has maybe people with 2 different skin tones and how something comes out, you know, this and that. And then I don't sometimes dictate, now shoot like this with this angle and whatever. So, and the micromanagement must be there anyway, especially in the beginning when you have a new hire, because they need to understand your mood, what kind of angles you like, what kind of settings would you like. Do you like airy videos, funny videos and whatnot? So for sure, when someone comes in, the first few weeks, it's a lot of micromanagement because you don't want to, as she said, they post something, they're like, hey, that does not represent our brand. But then the moment they get it, I genuinely just tell them, can we do something around this? They shoot. sometimes I watch, sometimes I don't have to watch. So the micromanagement just comes when we have a new hire and we need to kind of train them what we like, what angles we like, what kind of messages we like to put out there. But other than that, you also have to give them some creative freedom. But also, now it depends. Now you can also watch. Sometimes I just like watching when I know, this topic is tricky. Like, depending on how it can be brought out, it can go either way.
Yeah.
So I want to see first and see how can people interpret it. If it's just normal funny videos, sometimes hata mimi, I just find them online. I'm like, wow, si umenimaliza, who shot this?
Yeah.
So it becomes like a good balance as well.
Okay. Now, you both are big names, even without the businesses. Like tunajua Purity TANJ, tunajua Maureen Bandari, even without Bandari Beauty. Does it at any point affect how you deal with your employees? Because online tunajua kiongos. Na kuna kiongos mdosi wangu kwa ground. Are these two different people? Ama akikuja kwambia kiongos kwa ofisi kiongos.
For me, it's actually two different people. Even in the office, I remember one of my managers was like, "What? Maureen nakuanga na sauti ya boardroom, nakuanga na sauti ya Instagram." At when he watches how I talk to people on Instagram, I'm like, And then, but for me, I had to teach them very early, and I know there's one of my managers. I think I can even mention her, Kiki. We had such an interesting relationship in the beginning because I know how to separate things. I know we're in the boardroom, you need to give me a certain report, you didn't, why are these numbers like this, nini. But then on social media as well, we follow each other, and I can see a very funny video and I send it to her.
After asking for a report.
When I am asking, I have seen, because online I'm not your boss. Online, I'm just someone who follows you. If anything, I'm in your presence, I'm in your page, I'm in your username, I'm your follower. So I saw something funny, and then I sent her, and then we are in the boardroom. I'm like, I didn't like that. Why didn't you do 1, 2, 3? So in the beginning, she used to be very confused until she came to me. She's like, I don't understand this, our relationship. I'm like, what? Oh, you just asked me, and now online, you're just sending me funny videos. I'm like, I'm not your boss online, but I'm your boss in this office. If you've come late, I'll ask you. If you've not done a certain assignment, I'll ask you. If you've not sent me back a certain report I needed, I will ask you. Even if simultaneously I'm online laughing. So it took her a little bit to readjust. Nowadays she knows. Me sending you a funny thing online does not mean now you can come and say like, Aki, but I didn't do it. See, I just do it tomorrow. She just, and everyone now, I had to realize, okay, maybe that is me who knew that. So I have to come and tell everyone, by the way, in the office, But online, if I know you're Annie, I am sending you something fun. This looks like you in the office. We laugh.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean at work, you'll be on the other side of doing the wrong things and then come laughing.
As Tanj, the same.
It's the same because now if you you're closer to some people and not to everyone. So if you're not able to create that differentiation of tuko job na tuko out ama we are having fun or whatever, that can also be misinterpreted as favoritism.
Biasness, yeah.
Sana. And employees are always looking to see and they always know who's your favorite. And they want to see how you're treating them, especially when they're on the wrong.
Yeah.
And how you're treating them, now the person you like more, and then the one... Because of course you will like some people more just because maybe personalities gel more or such. So differentiating is good. And then... For me now, I'm not yet used to like being online a lot, but I know the business needs me to be online, so you have no choice. But also unapata too, the personality I have is probably the personality I have at work, but when it's serious business, now there we don't joke. Yeah, because decisions still have to be made anyway.
Yeah.
So you two, you've been able to open other branches this year. Like hata sita uliza milestone, I can see the milestones. You've been able to expand your businesses in the year of 2025. there's the Eldoret one, there's the Sarit one. So we can see that from out here.
Yeah.
It looks like rocket science. Like honestly, acha tunaambia tu kweli, ku-expand biashara kwenda outlet ya pili si joke. Na si rahisi. If at all ingekuwa rahisi tungekuwa sisi wote na, you know?
Yeah.
I'd love you to share just one tip that kuna tu mse ako comfortable. Of course, anataka ku-expand pia ya kwe Eldoret, akwe Nairobi, akwe West, akwe Kilimani, you know?
Yeah.
But ni kama bado.
Yeah.
But financially, maybe anaweza.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's stopping them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'd say number one, when you know where you want to go, you have to keep looking, and opportunities just don't find you. You have to go looking for them and be open to seeing them. You see, I also was realizing, like, just towards the end of this year, because now we've had so many changes in our business, especially employee-wise and management-wise. So I have to be positive to see the positive things in life. So that's what I'd say I even did with like Eldoret. So I'd already realized we have so many out-of-town jobs that are in Eldoret and that area. But I also went looking. You see, now the way you keep statistics, unajua, this side is the side that has the most clients. And also when I check, it's 5 hours from Nairobi. When I send people, it means the next day they have to get an off day. So how sustainable is it? So as I was looking, I went in 2023 and I told the mall that I'd like to get space here.
Just mention the mall.
Yes, the mall is Rupa's Mall.
Rupa's Mall.
Yeah, Rupa's Mall, Eldoret. So I remember I went there. I talked to the management. I told them I'd like to get a store. And then just the same way you were saying, you know, the way now you look at curtains, you're like, this is how we were curtains. Yeah. So now you're like, they want to give you maybe a smaller space, but then you're like, no, I'd want this type of space.
Oh, it's them who are looking at us, so you are curtains.
Yeah. Because you know, they're like, it's just a curtain shop. They even told me, you can check Zion. But then you don't give up. You don't give up. You just keep. I kept calling. And because I kept calling, even when an opportunity came, they called me immediately and told me, we have this space. Are you interested? And you see now, even though I had looked for it in 2023, they called me in in Feb 2025, wakaniambia now kuna space yenye wanatengeneza mpya. Would I be interested? Well, it's not like nilikuwa nimekaa nikingoja kuambiwa tu kuna space, but also you have to run with it because it's an opportunity. What if you never get that opportunity again? What if ningeogopa niseme now I can't do it? Yet there are things I wanted to maybe do sooner. Like they had wanted to open in June. It didn't happen in June. I had to wait. And then we had to open in August, pole, and now showcase it in December. So mtu akiona sahi December, unaona, wow, ameenda tu akafungua.
Mimi ndo nashtuka. 2023 na December 2025.
Yeah. But you see hata tulifungua, maybe hata hatuna kila kitu yenye tunafaa kuwa nayo ndani ya hiyo shop. But now when you're ready to like launch it, you're feeling like you're a bit comfortable. It's not like even it's where you'd want it to be, but you know it's something you'd want your audience to experience. And because we've also seen like the love from Eldoret, the people who come, so you want to showcase it completely. So what I'd say is keep looking for the opportunities. Opportunities will not find you, number one. And when they finally come, don't be afraid. Because if you don't start now, you'll never know whether you'd have made it or not.
Because you had a chance to say, niliachana nayo.
Yeah, ningemwambia sasa sahi haiko kwa plan yetu ya Q1, Q2. Lakini sasa ukisema hivyo, you'll never, that one would have gone to someone else. And actually, like even the spaces we got there, so many people wanted space. Like even we were saying we want 3 of them, but we got 2 because it's like the demand is so high, we can't afford to give you 3 spaces, we'll give you 2.
Allah.
So you see, and even now when we wanted to open in June, the reason we didn't open is because the demand was so high, he had to add another floor. So what if now tulikaa tukasema, hiyo si yetu, wacha tungoje next time. Would have waited maybe another 2-3 years. And now it's already showing us results because we've been there for a while. It's just that now we are showcasing it now.
And maybe ungengojea mwingine angekuja pita na hiyo opportunity.
Hata labda wa curtains bado.
Like
things can be so weird.
Na ukikuwa sasa mwingine wa curtains wangekubali mwingine wa curtains akuje. So you have to keep looking for the opportunities and be open
And you see that's why you want to hear your story because sisi pale online tuko ingine Eldoret tunaonanika imetengenezwa jana usiku.
No.
Hatuoni 2023 alienda akakosa space. Tunaona ni last week. Ameshuka na akatengeneza na akalaunch. Thank you so much. Then there's you Sarit and Luna Spa. Hey Bandari.
I can imagine the stories are usually the same because for me, more or less what he has just talked about, because for Sarit, it's since 2022. I swear, 2022 is when we wrote our first email. I swear. I think when I was sharing the story I posted, even the email itself, it was in 2022 when we asked for space to come back. There's no space. And I don't know whether that time they had expanded to the new wing. I can't remember. But they just told us, And then early this year, no, from last year, but now early this year is when we were like, we have to get space in Sarit. So we've been sending emails literally every year. What about now? What about now? When people are, no. And then even what she has mentioned, sometimes and I really love such landlords anyway, where they protect also their current tenants. For example, if you have curtains and they allow like 1,000 other businesses with curtains, then you're creating even competition for your own tenants. So that also was a bit of a problem because obviously in Sarit, there's so many other beauty stores. So to some level now, then how are you different? What different thing are you going to bring to the table? And early this year, and I told my team, Aki, this thing has been on our vision board for so long. It's now probably maybe time to be aggressive with it. So it was just, what about now? What about now? To a point where, and I really like what he's just said, because the stories will always be the same. I think it's just the commodity that changes in terms of what you're doing as a business. Because in that quest of, what about now, one of those random days we got a call. They're like, okay, Mr. Sarit wants to see you guys. There's a small space that might be available. Now, hey, you hear that, you're looking at your finances. I am not equipped to have a new store now. You look at the year, it's almost coming to an end. You had already almost started giving up in August, June, July, right about that time. And then they tell you, okay, there's this tenant, they're leaving, but the space is smaller than what we know you normally have. So it's just like, hey, it does not matter. People start somewhere. That has been my motto the whole year. People start somewhere. Even for our HQ store, that was not the original store. We had started in a very small space within Greenhouse. So I know you can start somewhere and then you grow. So we went, looked at the space. We're like, this is it. This is enough. Because I remember when the management was asking us, but isn't this smaller than, who has told you? Iko sawa. You just let us be. We will arrange it.
Yes.
And I actually think even right now when we finished all the work, it does not look as small as it was when we went to see it with the previous tenant. So by the time we were launching, in fact, even for me, by the time I was even launching, it was not finished. I was honestly financially constrained as of that time. But I'm just like, you know what? You customers who wanted, a branch closer to you are the ones who are going to build this. And I just came out and told them, you know what? I've gotten it to this point. I'm launching it as it is. This is your branch. Just make it work. And, at least the good thing is also your clients always come through.
How does it feel? I know Purity umesema the one lesson you've had to learn this year the hard way is getting a good team, like family ama hiring professions. You've said hiring professions. Hii mambo ya huyu anaweza na huyu. Actually, maybe ebu tell us the one bad scenario ya huyu anaweza. Well, if you're okay, ama ile you're okay. That taught you enyewe. Please hire professionals.
So for me, I'd say I have to. Not even one.
That was 25.
Hizo tu ni top 2.
Yeah, 2025.
Top 2 ya 2025. If we count, guys. So the first one is not having boundaries. You see that trusting everyone, and now you don't have boundaries. You tell people you're everything as if they are your children. You want to tell people everything about your business. Sometimes that is not, well, I think not sometimes. It's just not a very wise decision. So I think that one taught me, like the hard way. Like I almost went into depression.
No.
Like literally. Because now you're like, this is someone you never thought they'd do anything bad to you. Like any the way you carry someone, it's like another person out of body for you. So you really feel like you're hurt. But now also at the same time, you're hurt and clients are calling. So what will you do?
Nilo nalia tu.
Unalia na like I used to cry and pick.
Hello, Tanj Curtain speaking.
Yeah, and then now you have to be like all that good energy. Yeah, so I think if I did have better boundaries, I'd not have had to go through that. Then the other one is now just taking referrals as they are. Mtu akikwambia huyu anakuanga mnoma na hii. Then also being, now this is me calling myself out. Like also, apart from now just you've been referred to someone, you're also like, kona ka ignorance ka. Unajua hizo sasa lazima nijue niko na mtu. You get. And then
talk to the manager.
Yeah, ukipigiwa we ujui, talk to so and so, and then I think iyo kukua too relaxed. It's not very good to be very relaxed when it's your business, and also think about, now I was even telling my mom another day, I always now have to think about, it's not about me. It's about 32 people looking at me and thinking my life depends on what Purity decides. So if I'm making like those ignorant
You have a team of 32.
Yeah,
Those are 32 families.
32 families, and you can imagine now multiply by their children.
So even Tanj, you have no time to cry.
When would you cry?
Postpone tears.
There's even a day I called my friend. I was like, I woke up, I felt like crying. Then I wondered, I'll cry, and then so I just woke up and went. So I think that ignorance of, because uliambiwa huyu mtu ni mpoa, and because now you're in CEO mode, you talk to this other person, like when people call you, you're like call maybe like you have a department, you're telling them just talk to so and so without following up. That was a hard lesson that I had to learn the hard way.
Did it cost you any monetary income? Did it cost you
it costed us, actually it almost costed us even like business relationships, cause yani ilikuwa tu mbaya.
Ole.
Yeah.
Na hiyo ni 2025.
2025.
Na bado ukafungua Eldoret.
And then now when you call the person to ask them why would you do this, the person tells you, I hope you find it in your heart
to forgive
me. You're like, how am I supposed to do that?
So you see why it's very beautiful when you get to hear your stories, because that's a major like hit.
Yeah.
And in the same year you're opening up another store in Eldoret.
Yeah.
Like ulikuwa unalia ukipanda ndege ukienda site unarudi unalia yani
unarudi
unalamba glucose unaamka unalia unapeleka curtain una deliver una fix unalia. Ni cycle. Kiongozi ushaikuwa na any like such a scenario where employees ama Gen Zs, tumesikia za Gen Zs, tumeziona memes za Gen Z, sijui kama uko na Gen Zs ama millennials kwako.
I have both. Sai niko na wangapi? But for sure, you know, Gen Zs will wake up and tell you, I need to relax, I need to catch up with life, I need to just go home and...
Like an employee?
Yeah.
Sasa huwa hata si family?
No, I've never employed family before. So sijakuwa na experience ya how it might look like.
So they want to catch up with what, if not work?
Work, how are you catching up with work to them? Sasa, you are the source of all my stress levels. Now I need to go home and relax and catch up with life and, you know, do all of these things. I've even actually had Gen Zs who have quit to at least... I need a rest or something of the sort. So it can be crazy. So I can imagine if on top of that it's family. Hey, I wish that tungekuwa tunajuana, tungekuwa tunalia pamoja.
So when they rest, do they come back more productive? Have you seen it work? Ama they rest and still nothing changes? Because rest tunaweza elewa.
For me, I think sometimes it's just the same. But, then again, what I always say is when someone is tired, for example, and you force them to continue working, that output is useless at the end of the day. So for sure, if you want your 7 days, you can have your 7 days. But now it depends on, does the company have capacity to have someone else who's able to handhold that particular week when maybe you're resting or doing that. So you have to kind of figure out who can I put in this position to do double the duty as someone else rests. Because I realized if someone is asking for leave, and especially when it's the rightful leave, sometimes imagine just let them go. Because you'll keep them there, but their mind will not be there. So the output is as though hawangekuwa anyway.
That's true.
So ni sawa. But machozi hapo na I can relate.
Umelia hata wewe.
What?
Unalia, unaenda unaangalia site ya Sarit, unarudi unalia, unapeleka.
Kama Sarit niko nalia every day. Akisitaki kudanganya. You cry. But
thank you for not recording yourselves while crying.
Alafu sahau kupress record. Na nimeshalia. Niangalia aya. And then I start afresh. But for me, I would say also calling friends has been very instrumental. I'm someone who is very solution oriented. And I always say, and this came out from my employees, those who are a bit closer, who said I like to postpone issues, like emotions when things are very hot. So me, when I'm finding myself in a hot situation, I go into...
It's okay.
I can at least... It's a
okay.
speaker. Oh. So I go into problem-solving mode. Like, what am I supposed to do? Because at the end of the day, if I'm the CEO... this problem is still waiting for me tomorrow. So that feeling of, oh my God, now what is this? I'll have to postpone it to a later time when I've solved this issue. And then I can now relax and be like, wow, that was quite a lot. So I realized for me, what really, really works is calling my friends. If you're my friend, I'm sorry, you are an unpaid therapist. I'll call you at 1 a.m. I'll call you at 3 a.m. I'll call you 12 p.m. And I don't call just one person. I've come to feel like I have an average of like 3. I'll call you, rant, cry. Tumalizane your call. Immediately call another person, repeat the same. By the time I'm calling the third person, I am brand new.
Nice.
I am brand new. It is what the hell was... Oh.
Yeah.
Can we cuss here? What the hell was that? Let me start solving. So then I start solving. But crying, I think averagely I will put it like every 2 weeks. There are some tears somewhere.
I think it's a nice thing that you guys are saying this because, okay, it's not normal, but I had to expect, okay, if I met a video of you, Purity ama Maureen, crying online...
You'll be surprised.
Kusema tu kweli, si ati I don't expect you guys to cry.
But you can't imagine.
Like ati sasa wewe utashinda unalia like si ati ufai kulia but unaelewa this is not the place ama this is and I think I'm having also a group of friends.
Yes.
Unaona wewe umesema kuna mtu ulipigia like
you
kukua tu na hiyo you all your businesses have grown from somewhere like zimekam tu zikigrow and I'm sure you guys the more mna grow the more the money of course growth comes with money at times. What is that one money strategy, like that one money habit you live with, like you I'm umelan 2025 because again the 2025 year in review money habit
in what way,
whatever way, whether it's in business like e-pesa. Unajua watu wengi kama mimi kuna kitu nililearn sijui how many years you must pay yourself. Like you get kitambo mimi nilikuwa najua hii ya biz na kula stock itajipanga so yes na inakaa cliche but unaona kuna vitu tujalan za do tuna feel si biz ni yangu si Bandari hata jina ni yangu. What do you mean?
My dad aliambia nimlipe retainer. Alikuja kusema retainer nimeretire my friend. Send me something.
So one money habit.
For sure, what you've mentioned makes sense. Pay yourself. I think I learned that in my Centonomy class in 2020. So that's when I started paying myself a little bit, kidogo. But I've come to realize that as the CEO, because I've been in business for almost 8 years now, And in the beginning, to be honest, I was always the last. Like, I'm the last to do anything, to be paid, to be whatever. But to be very, very honest, in the recent past, I've come to realize if I'm not comfortable, I cannot think. I cannot be creative. I cannot lead you guys. So I have had to really maneuver through being the last to even pay myself, being the last to, anytime I was using even money rightfully owed to me from the business, I would feel some form of guilt, like, why am I even using this money and I haven't bought stock, I haven't paid this person, I haven't paid that person. But then over the last few years, I came to realize if I'm not sleeping well, because I have not even bought a nice mattress, tomorrow, how am I, coming to the office and tell you guys, you know what, this is the strategy for the year. So there has been some shift, definitely. And not so much, honestly, because I still feel guilty most times. In fact, sometimes, I don't know if my employees even know, majority of what sustains my lifestyle is not even money from the business. You'll always find me doing all manner of things. But I've come to a point where I'm very much now comfortable, ensuring that me as the CEO of the business, I'm also comfortable.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not sleeping well, I'm not, feeding my family, I'm not doing all of these things, then at what point do I actually put my problems aside and really strategize for the business?
Yeah.
So there's been that particular shift for sure. But for me, when it comes to the business itself, I really prioritize money going into trainings and people, because I feel if people are comfortable, and obviously there's no employee who will ever say, oh, I am the best paid in the whole world, for sure, but trying to ensure that the employees are comfortable to some level and I'm adding value from a training angle, for me has always been the best use of money, especially business money, because I know once they're well trained, then they can make that money back for the business,
That's
even
true.
tenfold.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So for me, I'd say, like, as our business has grown, probably this is the year we've expanded the most, even team-wise. But then we also had to make difficult decisions. And, when it's decisions about money, like changing the pay structure of how you had to do things, I realized the most important thing is to involve your team also. It's not like you're making them make the decisions, but you're involving them so they feel like they are part of. So by doing that, even when there's a change, they're very welcoming to the change, and then now you even curate together. Like, I usually tell them that the solutions are with you. So we'll sit, and then maybe we could do this and this, then we weigh what works for the company and what doesn't work for the company. And also for them to realize it's not like ni kama pesa yote ni ya Purity. Pesa ni yetu sisi wote, and we have to manage it well. So even when we've had to make like some difficult, I'd say, like when you're changing like how someone earns to a different kind of structure, it's not easy. And to do that and retain everybody in that team is not
Easy.
It also means that probably you handled it well, but I also think the part I handled well was involving them. And also if it's curating benefits that now could keep them motivated, we are sitting down and discussing. So tunawambia, this is the proposal, what do you think? Wanakwambia, then you come to a common ground. Apart from that, for the money, I also feel like, especially project-wise, when you have something that you need to do, all you have to do is commit and start. And that's the same way, like now as in our business, we've adapted the lipa pole pole thing, because now you realize ukisha commit, you're able to achieve much more.
Yeah.
So whether it's for the business, whether it's for me as a person, that's like a money lesson I've learned this year, to do more. And also as we are introducing it to our clients, you're even realizing clients are able to achieve their home goals quicker than they thought, and even in a more comfortable way. Yeah.
Can I add something she has just mentioned that has made me remember, which is involving the team? Yeah. I think one of the biggest challenge founders probably face is when the team also imagines, if you're making X number of sales, that money is sitting in my account.
Yeah.
they're like, tunakutengenezea hiyo pesa yote. Sasa they imagine, in your account, that 5 million, that 10 million, that 20 million, it is in your account. And one of the things that I had to be very proactive about is to kind of show them, especially with my management team, how a business operates. And I remember one of the things I had to share with even my sales team, because for me, I give them medical covers. Someone might not know the cost of that medical cover to the business.
Wow.
And they do not see how them creating revenue, we took part of that revenue, we gave a different consultancy firm to give us medical covers for you and your family.
Wow.
But then if you don't, they'll be like, I'm earning just this salary. And all the money we made is in your account. But until sometimes you break it to them, like rent, or even the tea you're drinking and biscuits we're giving customers, it's a cost. And, even the rent, maybe it's paid quarterly. So the sales for this for this month, when we're starting a new quarter, must go to pay this rent in this way. When I'm buying you guys lunch, it might look like just small 5,000, but many lunches at the end of the year, that is someone's salary elsewhere or even within ourselves. So I had to really involve them to understand a P&L to a certain level so that they get to understand, we cannot just wake up and start doing an activation. What is the cost of that activation? So they start now treating money differently. It's not yours. They are now cautious, like, okay, if we keep doing this, asking for this, we will not even have money to be paid by December or get vouchers, because where will the money come from? So it has made them also be a bit, have that mindset of cost saving sometimes if something is not completely necessary, because now I had to take them through, this is what happens in a business to, a level where they need to understand where that money goes as well.
And I love that, because sasa umetoa ile nini ya, tunamtengenezeanga. So now they are protecting our business.
Because munajitengenezea lifestyle.
Sasa ni biashara yetu.
Ni biashara yetu.
That's true. If it's dead, hatuna kazi kesho.
Ukikataa kuona customer kasirike, enda ambia marafiki zake tusiende huko, ni sisi wote tutenda nyumbani, sio Maureen
ama Purity.
Kwanza mimi am more likely to survive tu juu mimi nitaanzisha tu kitu kingine basi, ama nifanye influencing, ama nifanye what, but this affects all of us. When you're not treating a customer well, when you're not responding to their DMs, and we miss all those sales, it eventually affects all of us.
And a sane person will understand that. Like, no sane person won't, niko na medical cover. Hapa ndo kunatoka chakula, hapa ndo kunatoka rent. I can imagine I will treat that
now
office.
So it becomes personal. It does no longer become
actually
a Maureen
it helps
thing.
them now even have ownership of the job.
Yes.
So si lazima Maureen aingie pale ndo tu.
Kwangi ati biashara ya Maureen is usually our business.
I love that.
Yeah, it is not my thing.
Now you guys are online and we've seen so many trends. 2025. Sijui kama by then me dance.
Every fortnight.
What is that one trend that really worked for your business in 2025?
Was it 2025? I'm losing track of.
Niambie tu ni trend gani ile?
There's a trend, we kind of were among the first ones to adapt it, where you just take a random video, maybe even someone is rolling, and then you tie it to your own, and then you now share the message. Hey, that thing was trending for us on TikTok. It did so well online. Hey, even me, I was watching those videos.
Your social media manager. I think
she was even doing splits. It was so funny. It was so funny. But the other trend that I really loved, even for me now, as now the founder, there's this trend where you sit and then the people are behind. Now you have to guess who it is. I think that's the first time I really got to know all my employees.
And you've also done it.
Because sometimes you muko tu mnongea, but then you realize, actually, do I really know you by name, by voice, by this and that? So it was a trend, but also something that positively then ended up challenging me. That at least, at the very least, let me know how they sound.
Yeah, but they also now for me with that, I learned, because it was so funny because we posted it you posted it on the same day on your page. It was so funny. We were like, we posted it, venye ukionanga trend, unakimbianga post. Yeah, so and it also made me want to do one-on-one, and it's been very positive to the business and making people know that your door is open. Especially now, you see now we have so many moving parts.
Yeah.
So people realizing that they could see you and tell you, can I get like 20 minutes? Mnaongea tu, hata mnaongea familia yake iko aje. Like such things. The trend that now also was so funny and nice. Nile ya ati mnauzianga tu celebrities.
There was such a trend.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Yeah, then you turn and you're like, who said that?
Oh, the one you're talking like this, you finish, then you're like,
who said that?
But okay, in fact, let's just, where's that where we can see all of them? Why do you guys do that?
Yeah, to I'm celebrities peke.
Actually, that thing hurts our feelings because all our customers are customers. It's just that our normal customers don't post.
Yes, in fact, that's the thing that you keep
and also
people.
they don't have a large following. So akipost hatutajua.
It's not like we serve the celebrities only. We actually don't. We don't even give them for free. They actually pay, like just normal customers. I remember there's a time when I was doing another business I closed called Wine Drop. I had some really nice cute glasses similar to stuff like this, and then I had very limited stock, and 2 customers, normal customers, now let's just use normal in this case, came almost I received messages almost at the same time as a certain popular celebrity. So the celebrity came like third, but I had to sell to these 2 and tell this one, hey, you have to wait for the next shipment. If you're comfortable paying now, then I deliver later. Alafu bado tunakuja unasema you're selling to
unatamani ungepea huyo.
But actually, you guys hurt our feelings. And we generally if anything personally, I genuinely normally love even my normal customers way more because they come to me because they know I can give a solution. Sometimes nasikubaya kwa my celebrities. Sometimes they come to me because I'm their friend, for example, and maybe I'm the only person they know. They want to buy 1 or 2 things. Some genuinely just want to support you. But I feel like my clients come to me because they believe I have the solution for them, which serves my bigger purpose in terms of why I started the business in the first place. So mkisemanga hizo, by the hata sisikiangi vizuri.
We are sorry. And what is that one major trend? Mweza tafadhali. Iacheni 2025. Isivuke 2026.
A trend.
It doesn't have to be like a social media trend. It can be a habit. Maybe for business founders and business people. Like, please leave this behind.
For me, I'd say not going on leave. Not going on leave. Me, I never used to go on leave until this year. So in January, I said I have gone on leave for 10 days. 10. We don't even give 10.
Ulichukua simu gani?
Nikasema me have gone. Nikamwambia biashara ni yetu sisi wote.
Mkitaka ianguke.
I hope you take care of it. Ikianguka tutakuja kuogota. Because now nitafanya nini? Because now also I realized you're just so beat. How will you pour into the team? Or even into the business? Me, I don't want to tell founders to also prioritize themselves and give themselves leave. Then also this year is the first year I said intentionally Saturdays I will not go to work.
Nice.
Nice. So, and it has worked so well.
And the business is running.
Yeah, and even now my children know on Saturdays I'm at home.
Haijaanguka mkaokota.
Na bado tuko.
Na bado nice.
Na bado kumekuwa na mashida na bado mi nakaa tu like sasa we can't just stop everything because there won't be a purity if I'm not well rested, if I don't take care of my children, for example. Nitakuja nikiwa like, but my children are not okay, so I'm not okay. So probably niko tuko nikishout.
Love that. Ooh.
Is it the message? Is it to founders only?
Not necessarily to founders, but even to founders. Business startups.
For me, it will be around put more effort in investing in yourself. And I say this because sometimes I see maybe someone has a master class or has something, and they'll put out the fee, and then someone will be in the comments. They're like, hiyo pesa yote natuwekea alafu sijui nini. You know, it's okay when, let's say, you might not be able to manage at that particular point, but sometimes I don't see it necessary to abuse and make the other person feel like, hey, you're 10 years. Because I feel like what you might end up gaining will bring that money 10 times probably. And it's okay sometimes, obviously, even me, I don't attend all things. There's some I'm just like, hey, this one, it's beyond my budget, but you will not find me in the comments. I'm like, surely. Who attend sijui leadership training sijui nini
kwani inakuja
na strategy and whatnot. I feel we need to probably regulate how we respond to things, but totally encouraging founders to invest in yourself, because when you invest in yourself, every time I've attended either a seminar, a class, a training, sometimes you might not even get something from the trainer, but I might find purity in the class, and then I'm like, hey, by the way, I like your business. Before long, I have a problem which she has managed to solve, and then she helps me solve it. So by the time I'm going back home, the money for the training is worth it. Or even if I didn't pay, the fact that I put myself out there to go network, to go to that particular training, because, you know, there's some trainings which are also free. You can always attend what makes sense for your business. Just make sure you leave your business. It will not fall. As Pretty has said, squeezy ako to home Saturdays, you know, and the business is moving. So any time there's an opportunity to invest in yourself from a knowledge perspective, honestly, just take it.
I love that.
I'd like to add something to that. In fact, for me this year, that was the one thing I said that do for myself. Be in rooms with other people. Even learn things. And if I had taken those, like, say, when I think about the problems I had this year, if some of the classes I saw last year, if I attended, probably singekuwa na hizo shida this year. So it's just very important to keep on looking in the right places. Then the other trend I don't want people to stop, or even like startups, just for your own sake and your business, kucomment na page yako kwa gossip pages. And then now you're trying to build a brand. So bado kuna wenye unakwanga usha mark wenye wana comment. And now when you think about they want to grow and become so big, imagine the impact you'll have on your business. Hata sifungue sudo.
You know, I laugh because there's a lipstick brand. I forget because nilisahau ku pay so much attention. They were even gossiping me, but then they sent the gossip to me using a business page. I'm like, what? Because I could go and see what they have. These are things, if they would have at any point come to me to be a stockist, probably we would have had that conversation. But now you're gossiping using your business page, you're commenting, sometimes even negatively using your business page. Mostly negatively. Actually, that one needs.
Because at the same time you're selling to us, you want us to come to you as customers. But pale umeuliza sijui sasa dini yenyewe inasema nini?
And that can actually even be the customer. The customer doesn't have to be others outside of me. So I totally agree.
And now I get why you said you'd love to see what's being portrayed from your pages. Because kama uni social media manager, amesahau hii page.
But I think most times it could be the owners of the pages.
The owners.
When you're starting out, you probably have that. You're the one who is handling the DMs. I most of the time think it's actually the owners. We can. I can kill someone, but what? Atunipate mtu amecomment
na Maureen Bandari.
But do you know me, I even bar my own team from commenting in. Okay, when you look at skincare in itself, if let's say I'm battling acne, for example, it's very, very sensitive. Chances are there's so many people who have met me and they're like, nini ilifanyika na uso yako? Hii kitu hata usikae karibu na mimi, una transfers. So they've already gone through a lot of stigmatization and whatever. So sometimes I find on TikTok especially, someone maybe anafanya tu video yake hata ni ya kudance labda hata aongelelei uso and then people come in the comments hii uso at Maureen Bandari at Bandari Beauty come and solve I always tell my team please do not go and comment and be like come to us because this person has not come out and said I'm looking for a business in skincare that can help me with my problem. They were busy doing their own fun thing. Of course they know there's something going on with their skin. You have no idea whether they already are doing something about it or they are seeing a dermatologist or something. But if someone comes and they're like, hey guys, can you guys recommend a beauty store I can go to? And then people tag us, hapo chini wakapo at Bandari Beauty at Luna. By all means, my social media comes, they're like, okay, give us your details, we'll call you. But atitu random person has tagged us because now we contribute then to that stigma, which most times for me, I do not want.
I love that because you see, those are easy, like unaweza fikiria ni common sense, but si common sense. But then on the contrary, kuna mtu ashazoea kukitokea tu kitu hiyo comment na biashara yake na inamsaidia. Like kuna mse on the opposite. Let me give an example. Ukiona comment ya spot on.
But now it depends on your like business model.
That's what I'm saying. So there are those there are those yake mpaka hata tunamuitanga kuja utengenezee package like
kama mpaka tushajua and I'm sure it works for them.
For sure it does. Now you two have businesses that are not like a basic commodity, like a basic need. And I had Philip here and he was like, of course, tunajua sahi, if you're selling food, if you're selling education, if you're selling clothing, if you're selling food, shelter, like vitu, zile we must consume. Economically, like najua tumeongelelea growth zenu na nini. How has it been 2025? Like how has that been? Because mtu anasema chakula tutakula, shule tutaenda, school fees tutakopa, rent tutalipa, hata mjenge high rise ngapi Kilimani, tutaja. Lakini curtains na skin care.
Nitaka shares.
Hata nitaekanga shuka usiku. Unaona?
So I think from us, the economical hit, you feel it. Because like how like you normally have the trajectory of like every month you're growing. And also the months, like now, for example, I'd say our bad months would normally be Feb and September. But now this year, when you check the bad months, there are more because it's harder convincing people. And that's why we've even had to think harder. What are some of the ways you can come up with, like strategies tu za kuonyesha watu, you can still get this thing differently without feeling like you had to forego a basic need. Like say, for example, now like lipa pole such. So you have to think and change according to vile tu economy iko, but also you just keep pushing and hoping for the best, but you've definitely felt it. So unapata like the way you'd expect maybe like the income from last year, this year, there's a big difference. Like unaona mmegrow money-wise, it's not the way you expected. But also you have to adjust. And even those are the things now I was saying, even as a team, you come together as your one family. Hii job ni yenu nyinyi wote. Like even like say a time like now, we'd have so many other additional casuals because kazi ni mingi sana. It's not the same. And it's not just us. Even when you ask other people in the industry, wanakwambia tu it's the same. So just keep pushing and hoping for the best. But also at the same time, try to be strategic so that you still put yourself at an advantage. Kama kuna advantage iko, you're able to pick it.
As much as it's tough.
It's tough, Basically it's tough, but hiyo ni kama cliche, but only the tough gets going.
We not BFFs. Tuna meet kwa podcast.
Mtakuwa BFF. Na mniweke hapo katikati.
Wewe ndio umetuconnect.
Hapo. Msimit bila mimi.
Kidogo natuona online. Tunashinda
naeka atasa. I love that. So the tough gets going. I mean, because again, we must eat and we are eating from the business.
So,
okay.
I think for me, 2025 has been the toughest. Like in my almost 8 years of operations, I've never seen a year like this one, if I'm being honest. And I know what you've been saying now makes sense, which is, unless we tell our stories, for you guys, you're like, hey, you were here, you opened here, you opened there, you went there. So, hey, you guys and the economy are like this. But you actually feel it because if I look at even our performance, I feel like this year we had to do double the work we did last year to make the same as last year. And you look at it and you're like, obviously the economy is changing. And as you mentioned, there are more things that are of more of a need. But also I think our model also comes into play because at the end of the day, in as much as we're in the cosmetic industry in general, what we do adds a totally different angle and value to a customer, whereby if, let's say, you wake up and you find yourself, you have like a fungal infection, for example, on your skin, obviously you don't want it to continue lasting there because now the economy is tough. CG what and what. If you've gotten an eczema flare up, you can't say, hey, economy is tough now. You itchiness, figure out how to manage until next year. So I think our different offering then were able to come out really, really strong in terms of what does Bandari Beauty and what does Luna offer the client. Obviously now those ones who normally just buy for the sake of, I like the packaging, I like the scent. Maybe those ones might take sometimes a step back a little bit because then it becomes just more of a want than a need. But generally I would say how we ended up then structuring the business and then also realizing very, very early that the environment is becoming volatile and whatnot, then now strategies come into play. Things like having the coaches come into play, going for trainings come into play. But the biggest win, I would say, is knowing where you're headed. That way, even in the toughest of situations, you're not being bamboozled by the shiny, shiny things outside of what you had created for yourself, that this is what I want to achieve this year. Otherwise, you'll be there wondering and thinking you're by yourself, who's being hit by the economy. And then you're seeing what Purity is doing. Like, that is what brings money. Yeah. And then you abandon your strategy and your dream. Okay. You want to try that. Purity, you want to try that. By the time the year is ending, you actually didn't focus on what brought you to 2025 and what you are depending on to take you to 2026. You are busy being reactive in the market. So for me, being laser focused, changing the strategy along the way just to fit, what is happening at the moment.
Ooh, I love that because hiyo kusoi is very easy.
It's very easy. Kwanza na social media because unaingia tu wewe unataka uende uchekeshe tu na mtu unapatana na Purity saa ametuangushia vitu hata zieleweki. Uko like, "What? Kwani is it just me who's not doing something?" And it's very easy to feel like that. So you have to be extremely anchored. Otherwise being swayed and renew with other people's things, it's very easy. But for me, I just make sure if it's not aligned with my strategy, I have no business feeling any type of way about it.
Okay. So now as we end this conversation, naeza taka kusikia, who is that one person who motivates kiongozi? Ama, because the way you motivate us, na assume kuna mtu anakumotivate. Like, who is that one person you look up to? Ama, who motivates you? And what is that one saying that you live by as Maureen Bandari?
Hey, one saying ni kama sina.
Uko na mingi?
Hata sinanga. But motivation, I think for me, comes from, I would say, someone I look at as a mentor, even if he doesn't know me. I think I've said this all the time, Tony Elemelu, the UBA chairman, Transcorp, nitakutumia umwangalie. Like how he started and the kind of corporations he has managed to create now, and now how he also again still pours out to young founders through his foundation and whatnot is very, very inspirational from an angle of you don't have to get to your 80s, 90s. Ndio hiyo kazi yote, it makes sense. You can actually work even for 10, 20 years and then you start reaping, what you have been building for a very long time. So sometimes it's really, really good, especially in the social media era, we have now access to people in different regions, whether it's in Kenya, whether it's in Nigeria, in South Africa, in the US, UK, you name it. So you have access to these people. You're able to see how they're building. I mean, look at the 30-year-old Vicky James in Nigeria. You know, when she was doing her birthday, I'm like, wait, 30 what? I thought you were like my age mate or something.
Yeah.
But then it shows you how people are being resilient out here, how they are planning their work, how they are sourcing for clients, how they are strategizing. And sometimes you don't necessarily have to walk the journey for you to know exactly what you need to do. You can actually study what other people are doing. As long as Kenyans, I always discourage copycat mechanisms.
They leave that in 2025.
Yeah, actually, kwa ile question yako, leave that in 2022, 2024, 2025. As we go into 2026, be someone who gets inspired by others, but then you take all that and be like, now how can I use all these to create my own vision for my business? So those are a few, but my biggest one is my daughter.
Oh.
She looks at all my credit cards, my debit card. Yeah, najua kuna pesa hapo ndani.
Yeah.
So itabidi
Ako like, oh, I want sijui nini, I don't have money. With all these credit cards. And then I'm like, what? I cannot disappoint you. Okay, but by the time you realize you can have the card and there's 0 coins, actually negative. By then, actually, let me just make it a reality. So from a home angle of what I do now makes sense, I would genuinely say, all those funny questions she asked me, I'm like, hey, but I cannot even dare disappoint you if this is what you think about. And I remember there's a time I was babysitting with a friend of mine's child, and I told them, you have to earn the money. So I'm going with you guys to the office. Today, your work is just welcoming people. Hi, welcome to Bandari Beauty. Have a seat. And by the end of this whole thing, I'm giving you guys 1,000 bob each.
Yeah.
And then she went to work, she welcomes somebody, and then she goes to the shelves. She's trying to put, stuff where they're supposed to be put. After 3 seconds, I am so tired. I'm like, hey, you can only afford to be this tired in future if actually I create a base for you. Otherwise, if I don't, you cannot go telling your employer after 3 seconds, I am tired. So I end up now then drawing inspiration from others as well as
your daughter. I love that. I love that. And Purity?
Yeah, actually, I'd echo what Maureen has said, because I think for me, family and having to be like the person my family depends on a lot because of changes in our family that we couldn't control. Like, you can't imagine not having a solution if there was a problem. And then I also look at the kind of legacy I want for my children and how, like, my son, my firstborn son, he's a teenager. So he's very aware and he knows the way this company is supposed to be this big and he's supposed to come and even lead it. So I can't imagine him thinking that he'll lead something that won't be there in the future. So, and I also actually bring him along work most times. When, like, now it's holiday time, he'd come, he'd even tell you, I've seen people doing this and that.
Generational wealth. You're creating it.
Yeah, so he's already thinking like, we need to do maybe it's because he does a lot of IT things. So he's even like tried to create for me like an app.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he just wants to find solutions for this business that he knows will be one day the business that he leads. And I think also, like, when we did our launch last year and he was given that, the MC kept saying, Terence actually kept saying, director, nitakuwa nakuja unisainie check. Like, that thing really is now in his head a lot, which is a good thing. And now when you look at how much they look up to you and hope to be even bigger than us, you don't want to disappoint them.
I love that.
Yeah, but also recently now, I'm not a big reader, but recently I have become a very good listener of podcasts. And I feel like listening and learning from other business owners and what they've been through has made me a bit more open-minded. You learn things. You pick, maybe just that drive to work, you learn at least 1 or 2 things. You pick today, another day you pick something else, and you're able to apply. So that has been helpful. And I think also that thing of, the way you can go online, you see another page, you're like, it looks like TANJ, like someone is cloning you entirely. But now realizing you don't need to focus on that. You need to keep going towards the goal that you want to create. So when people spend so much time trying to be you or copying what you're going to do next, you're thinking about the next thing. So before wafanye hiyo yenye usha post, you're on the next one. Yeah, so that's also very important. And now it's also for other people to know that. Just keep on your journey. Yeah.
Now the closing remark. You two, your businesses are online, and we know you. Like we know the founders and we know the businesses. Out here we have founders who do not want to be seen. Like not once or twice unamitu usinipost tag tu page yangu. What would you say that has worked for you guys, knowing Maureen and knowing Bandari, like Maureen of Bandari ndio mwenyewe, as opposed to Bandari Beauty wala tujui mwenyewe. Has it worked for you positively, ama ndio huyo mtu mwenye anasemanga tag tu page yangu sitaki mambo. Because they're like aya, you see.
I would say both ways, to be honest, though the benefits have outweighed the not posting myself. One of the biggest thing for me, I would say, is accessibility. Accessibility from an angle of, sometimes you can know a business, but then sometimes you can even have a complaint. Sometimes you can have just an idea that, if this business was to incorporate, it can even be bigger. But when you don't know to who will you go and give this feedback to, you will just be sitting with your feedback. But now when you know the face of this brand, then constantly I'm always getting feedback. Like, I think if you are to do this particular thing in your business, it can add value. And there are so many ideas that I've incorporated in my business that were originally not my ideas. It's just customers who came and were like, okay, and they slide into your DMs and then they're able to tell you one or two things. Sometimes it could easily be a complaint which someone sees the effort that you're putting into your business. So even when they are going to the business, I always tell my employees, I don't have to watch CCTV, to be honest. Every day before the end of the day, and I'm talking every day, there's at least 5 people
with feedback.
Thank God majority of it is great. But even if it's that one or two that might not be great, then you know where to improve. And for me, I'm someone who just loves feedback because I feel like because I'm not there physically, especially now with having Luna and having Sarit and having Bandari Beauty Greenhouse, I cannot be everywhere at the same time. But a customer will come, some even send me voice notes. Oh my God, I came. First of all, I was told to sit down. And then someone came, they gave me this. They're like, that is the process. Those are the systems I've put in place. And this is a random person who has come and narrated exactly how they are. Not a celebrity. So you start understanding, okay, so the things I'm putting in place actually are working. And when they narrate, and then maybe someone else comes and narrates similar stories, and they're not in line with the processes I've put, then I already know where the challenge could be. And for that reason, I think people end up then associating your brand with you, and how you even carry yourself now becomes very important, which sometimes now I feel like that is where the con comes into play.
Okay.
Because I remember there was a time someone sent me a message and said they have never come to my store because they imagine they will spend 1 million shillings based on my lifestyle online. I'm like, what? Hiya, Me, I live my life, but business is business over there. Yeah. And you realize people are also not, at that point before we discussed it openly, they were not able to separate me, the person, and how I live, and the business. So someone imagines, so I have to be like you, like a certain way. I have to, like, now your business looks like it's this luxury store that is truly not.
Makeup,
ni lazima ningie kwa event yako hata siwezi kuja bila makeup. I'm like, what? You should see me in my random events. I don't have to wear makeup. I'm just my own walking billboard. So it's all about communication then, I think, whereby you're constantly communicating and constantly being in touch with your audience, so that you also on your own to get to understand what is the impact of my visibility to my business. And lastly, in terms of pro, I train a lot. I think I've talked about it so much.
Yeah.
But then, because people can see me, I've gone somewhere else to train, and then they can again see me, I have come and brought back that training to my team, then they don't have the expectation of it's me they must find in the store to consult them. They now get to understand, okay, yes, the founder went, trained, but we also saw her training her team.
Yeah.
So that information have been brought to...
So I don't want Maureen aniuzie ama
So
nifanye
si
facial.
lazima nimuuzie, si lazima nimfanyie facial. They now
Trust your
acknowledge,
team.
okay, now we can trust this brand because we have seen the behind the scenes things that the founder is doing to elevate it. Yeah.
And that makes sense. Juu kuna wasi unaonanga wakiuza kwanza TikTok.
Yeah.
Nikienda kununua nataka kukupata wewe.
Sasa mimi utawaidupata.
Sasa, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because ukiona huu founder unataka ni kama hayuko sinunui.
Ni kama sasa hiyo consultation haitakuwa mzuri.
I
But
get
then
it.
with us being visible, you're able to show them, honestly, this is what I was trained. And this is exactly what I am training them. And you show your training over and over again. So honestly, by the time I'm training them the third time, they're the expert. In fact, they're even, and you know, that's something that people usually don't know. My team is way better than me. Because me, I train, I get the theory, I know how to apply it, but then because I don't, practice every day, you get to see how that thing can be manifested in various ways. So the team ends up being even way better than me eventually.
Okay. Purity.
Yeah, so I think we were even in another panel where we were saying it's the era of where you are the influencer of your business. So people need to realize how important that is. And also just even from learning, like, you see, like, especially when you sell online, people buy because they trust you. Not because my curtains are extraordinary or Maureen skincare is extraordinary. Probably you are selling the same brand, sometimes the same composition of fabric. But because people relate with you, they trust you more to know that what you promise is what you'll deliver. So to a big extent, it's an advantage when people can see you and relate with you as opposed to a disadvantage. And also the same thing Maureen has said about the feedback you get from clients and how impactful it can be to your business. For example, us doing laundry business, we began in 2022. It was purely a client who asked, now we have these curtains. They are so huge. How do you wash them? Actually, remember that time we had just put your curtains.
Yes.
And then now someone had told me about that idea. Then we had been working towards it. I think we'd worked on it for like about 7 months. And even when we started our laundry business, you were our first client.
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
She just called to ask, what do I do with the curtains?
Nitafua aje na venye ni kubwa.
And then I'm a
Na
bit,
mimi ni mdogo.
in fact, she's like, I told her I'm posting a poster for laundry literally tomorrow.
I
So you
remember.
say, not ati
So if there was no Purity, ningeuliza nani?
Yeah.
Ningeuliza the curtains.
Yeah.
I
And then
get
also
it.
you see, like, now you called me just as a regular client and I told you I have this solution. So for me, I feel like that kind of feedback, and also because they are able to experience our products and give us the feedback, and taking that feedback helps us grow and helps us serve them better. And I think the feedback I'd get and how maybe a team member would get it and give it back to me is not the same as when I had it first.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is actually true.
And then also being online and also showing my team the same way, because I've had that challenge. See, like now for us, also we have to do a lot of consultations. So for clients to understand that it's not me who will always be there, but to also show online that I can trust my team to do this because they are very good. Plus, they'll go and see different kinds of houses, and plus solutions are different. Sometimes they are customized. And I've never probably seen that challenge in another house. So you might find maybe one of my people knows something more than I do.
Yeah.
So also just showing it. And also I think this year we've been very intentional with the team content on our page as well. So that to push that. Even when you've done like a day in the life, so they see what actually happens. What do they do, everything that they do to make sure that they deliver best. So I think putting yourself out there can be challenging at first.
Yeah.
But it's important.
And it's good for the
and
business.
it's more of an advantage than a disadvantage.
I agree.
Actually, yeah, that is
I
true.
agree.
Lakini sasa disadvantage zikikuja unapambana tu.
Just takuja.
Yeah.
But I agree, especially hapo kwa feedback umesema tu kweli.
Yes.
It's easier giving you the feedback, Maureen, kama aki Maureen unajua, as opposed to hii Maureen Bandari, hii Bandari beauty, ndaambia nani alishughulikia.
Ama unaamua tunaenda kwingine, and yet it's something that could have been solved actually.
Yes.
So thank you so much guys, like thank you so much for your time. I am so sure venye tu mmesema tukipatana tukiongea mtu ana learn kitu.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm doing this series, it's because of course 2025 tu tuko hizo na mawe wa so wacha tusikie kwa watu wenye watu waambie wazao like we get to learn something. In a few days tuko 2026.
Yes.
Tunataka kuona kama tunaweza 2026 like what you've said, family and trusting the wrong people and having professionals. Wacha to try 2026. Maureen umetuambia to learn, tusome, train your people, train your team. Guys, 2026 it's the time where we are going to put all these lessons into practice. Usemange nishaisikia TANJ, nishaisikia Maureen akisema, you know? Yeah, and kulia mumesikia.
Yeah, it's
unalia, unadeliver. Unalia, unaingia.
The most important thing even about your kulia, even sometimes, because you're allowed to feel emotions.
Yes.
What I always tell people is don't sit there for too long.
Yes.
Emotions feel, even if you don't feel like going to work. Me, I've even ever dressed up, nafika kwa mlango niko like, is it a must? And then I close the door, remove the clothes, go back to sleep. But you should not allow yourself to be in that quagmire for so long. So that's why you can give yourself maybe a day or two, feel the emotions, and then use whichever means that makes sense to you to come out of there. Because anyway, kulia, it is okay. You let it out so that you don't also bolt up that emotion and then you go release it on employees at work. Ama kwa WhatsApp group. Nyinyi wajinga. What? You can't talk to people like that. So you have to figure out then how do I release the emotions so I can show up better for the people I serve.
Yeah, and thank you so much, ladies. And with that, we've come to the end of our conversation. Was it difficult?
No, you're a very good host, actually. Very relaxed.
Thank you.
A conversation.
Asanteni sana. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment. Follow their businesses. Give them work. Warifaa. Like, you know, share. Like, I hope umelearn kitu so. Tuma watu kwao 2026. We are going all in. Sasa hii ndio mwaka yetu.
Sasa
zile zingine
Tumechoka kulia na
2026 is ours. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Until next week. Bye.
And subscribe to her channel.